Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on RK News Network. Let's get started right now. We have a lot of news to get to this Monday evening, so let's begin. First up, Bretton Wood stabbing triggered by dispute over yard work, police say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Harry Who can cut your cost of eggs in half. Heating oil.
Adrian Demers was vocal in his virtual arraignment this afternoon.
It's actually nothing compared to what he was planning to do to me. That's nothing what I did to him, what he wanted to do to me.
Sir, you're
I
going
just wanted
to
you
need...
to know that.
I'm going to have to place you on mute.
Ultimately leading to his microphone being muted by the court. Paperwork shows that police were called to South Road in Brentwood Saturday afternoon. When they got there, they found a man with obvious injuries covered in blood. The victim told police he was attacked by his relative, Adrian Demers. He went on to say he offered Demers $200 to rake the leaves in his yard, but Demers didn't finish, so he offered him $160 and said he could have the rest when he was done. He told police Demers became irate and tackled him to the ground and started kicking him in the head and ribs, telling police he was in fetal position, trying to protect himself. The police report shows the victim thought he was getting hit in the head with a brick, but police informed the man that he had been stabbed multiple times. The document showed the pocket knife used was the victim's, and that the victim had a gun on his waistband that came loose, and Demers took it and drove away.
That's not true. It didn't fall out of his waistband.
Sir.
Pull the gun out.
Demers disputes what's in the affidavit, saying this was all self-defense.
I just found it very interesting that that is not noted anywhere in the affidavit.
The defense says one thing that is clear from the affidavit is that Demers didn't have any weapons on him going into the altercation. The state says Demers has an extensive criminal history.
Even if we were just dealing with these charges alone, it's clear that he should be held.
The judge ruled that Demers be held in preventative detention. In Brentwood, Kelly O'Brien, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Crash victim's family disappointed that woman charged in death doesn't appear in court. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Harry Who can cut your cost of eggs in half. Heating oil. Taxes.
I have my son with me now. I keep him around my neck. He goes everywhere with me now.
Michelle Shattuck wears a charm containing some of her son's ashes.
I tell him I love him every day until the day we meet again. He's right here with me.
Her husband carries a prayer card from the Services for Michael.
That's all we have left of my son.
This is Michael Shattuck and his fiancée, Aladi Abreu, on the night of their engagement. Officials say on March 23rd, Abreu was speeding when she came off the 293 off-ramp and slammed head-on into another car on Granite Street in Manchester, killing Shattuck.
He really was a good kid, and I don't say it just because I'm his father. He was so deep in the recovery community. He brought a lot of people, put them on the right track.
Monday morning, the family was in court for a hearing in Abreu's case. She remains hospitalized with injuries she got in the accident. The family disappointed Abreu was not there in person.
Nothing's going to bring my brother back, and we understand that. But there's consequences for everything. Every decision somebody makes.
The family says they understand that the court proceedings are going to take some time, that the case is just getting started. And while they wait for justice, they are also waiting for something from Abreu.
She still has not said sorry to me or my wife. She has not said, I'm sorry for your loss.
Abreu's brother was in court today. He left the courthouse without saying a word. Another hearing in this case has been scheduled for next week. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Potential presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis to visit New Hampshire this week. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Fidium Fiber is here, and that's good news for customers. Get a dedicated fiber connection with symmetrical upload and download speeds. No contracts, no data caps, no bundles necessary. Gig speeds, awesome prices, better experience.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is adding another stop to his recent round of out-of-state visits. DeSantis will be in the Granite State at the end of the week, and now South Carolina is on his itinerary as well. The Florida governor will be a headliner at the Republican Party fundraiser in Manchester on Friday. Officials say he's now planning an additional stop in South Carolina, a state where votes, of course, will be critical if he launches an expected 2024 presidential bid. The visits come amid recent stops to Pennsylvania, New York, and Michigan.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Volunteers create, deliver Easter basket for families at Nashville's Convent School. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Make mornings crust easy.
A massive community effort here over Easter weekend to support families at the school targeted in that shooting. Nearly 500 volunteers created 600 Easter baskets and delivered them all around the city. It was coordinated by 6 moms who created a Google Doc for families to sign up and let volunteers know what their children like. They say, like Christmas Angel programs, this was a chance to bring hope to people grieving tragedy.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Retired federal judge Norman Stahl dies at 92. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
A retired federal judge from New Hampshire has passed away at the age of 92. The Honorable Norman Stahl was appointed to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the First Circuit back in 1992 by then-President George H.W. Bush. He served on that court until his retirement in 2020. According to his obituary, Stahl was a Manchester native who helped to design the federal courthouse in Concord and was co-chair of Senator Bob Dole's 1988 presidential campaign here in New Hampshire.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into a look at your traffic. And here's a look at your traffic this evening on 93 into the border of Massachusetts. You got a pretty smooth sailing ride there. 293, a nice smooth sailing ride with an incident. Entry ramp to the Everett Turnpike northbound from Front Street to anti-clockwise blocked due to a crash, so be alert for there. 89, nice smooth sailing traffic. 393 between Concord and Chichester, nice smooth sailing traffic. Route 4, you got nice smooth sailing traffic with a few little spots of medium-based traffic. Route 16 of the Spalding, nice smooth sailing traffic with a few spots of medium and slow-based traffic. 95 from Maine through New Hampshire into the border of Massachusetts, you got a nice smooth sailing ride as well. 101, a nice smooth sailing ride as well. But over by the Auburn area of 101, you got a traffic issue. Incident, Main Road closed due to a crash on New Hampshire 101 westbound at exit 2. Hooksett Road traffic is getting by on the side, and several delays of 32 minutes and delays increasing on Route 101 westbound in Severance. Average speed is 5 miles per hour, so be alert there as well. 101 around the Bedford area, you got medium and slow-paced traffic, and 101 around the Amherst area, nice and smooth sailing, and 101 around the Milford area, nice and smooth sailing as well. Route 3 around Merrimack, you got nice smooth sailing ride with a little bit of medium and slow-paced traffic, and delays of 30 minutes, and delays in the easing on Everett Turnpike northbound, so, be prepared for those delays. And Route 3 around the Nashua and South Nashua into the border of Massachusetts. Nice smooth sailing ride there, as you can see. That is a look at traffic. If you do spot any other traffic issues, make sure you let us know so we can let everyone know as well. And let's go into weather. Only sunny days ahead. Temps hit 80s this week. And here is a look at your weather now.
I love you 'cause it keeps getting better. Ooh, yeah, it keeps getting better. I love you 'cause it keeps getting better all the time.
The Subaru of New England Love Spring event is here. Gear up for spring adventures with a brand new, refreshed for 2023 Subaru Outback. Buy with 3.9% financing or lease for just $345 per month. Get outside and go love spring.
Chrysler weather this afternoon. Pretty nice. I can't even say pretty nice. An ultimately nice.
Thank you.
Spring day outside, everyone. We found some folks here right here. This is in Salem. Out for a walk, enjoying the clear blue skies. Sunny, a little cool out there, but we will take it. I will say the first thing that Priscilla said to me is, my allergies. It's time.
Yeah. And this is really just the beginning of it, of course. I think this entire week you'll need to monitor those allergies, Priscilla. Take the medication. Allergy count only getting higher, or pollen count rather, only getting higher today, tomorrow, into Wednesday, and into Thursday too, because of the drier conditions that we have.
And it is so nice to be outside. Didn't realize it. Waking up, I was like, oh my gosh.
We need to put you in a bubble to take you outside.
Yes,
Priscilla at all costs.
So, but here's the thing too, is that the rest of the week is just absolutely gorgeous, right, Tev?
I just sit here and wonder, how could this get any better? And I don't know other than saying it does get better than this. So just bear with us. Even as great as today was, temperatures in the upper 50s right now, blue skies. We've got temperatures near 70 and 80, perhaps some June or July-like warmth by the time the week is out. First Alert Live radar showing us what the radar looks like. And similar to the sky, there is nothing out there right now. The atmosphere is so dry. We can measure that with our dew points. It shows us how much moisture is in the atmosphere. And with the dew points in the 20s and 30s, there is a little bit, but not a lot. But one thing that this could potentially lead to is another day of a fire weather risk. You may recall late last week on Friday and even into early Saturday, our dew points were in the teens and single digits. So a little bit of improvement in this department, but this just goes to show you that if a fire does start, because of the drier conditions that we've had, the weather will likely accelerate that. So critical fire weather threat through much of tomorrow across the entire Commonwealth and bleeding over into Connecticut and also Rhode Island too. The other thing that will be a factor into this and how things play out, how fast are the winds? Right now, they're about 5 to 10 miles an hour, so very variable. We get into tomorrow, they pick up a little bit, 15, maybe 22 mile an hour gusts in Leominster and Worcester, and then we start to get into Tuesday evening and Wednesday, then our winds pick up even more. Gusts near 30 miles an hour are on the way. So I don't really see that fire weather risk going away anytime soon. If anything, into Wednesday, it may be heightened just a bit more. Right now, we're at 55 degrees in Beverly and across the North Shore. We're 57 in Boston, not too far away. Look at that, Bedford, 66 degrees right now. So the further away from the coast you get, the higher your temperatures are. A pair of sixes right now in Nashua and 68 degrees in Rochester. So we do have a very nice evening on tap for you, down to about 53 to 54 degrees just after sunset, but still with clear skies. So it's another nice night. It's a mild start, by the way, to Tuesday. 47 degrees is where we bottom out at tonight in Boston, 39 in Franklin, 40 in Lowell, and that's how we'll start tomorrow. So we're starting already mild to warm. We're going to get even warmer. 72 in Boston and Lynn, 73 in Lowell for Tuesday. High temperatures on Wednesday in the upper 60s to low 70s, still 10 to maybe 15 degrees above average. But this, my friends, this is the big day on the way. Friday's forecast high temperature, 82 degrees. We haven't seen 80-degree temperatures since September of last year. If we hit 82, by the way, that'll break a record in Boston set back in 1945. And this just shows you where typically we're at 56 degrees. So again, 15 to 20 degrees warmer than normal, not just for Boston and the Northeast, but for much of the eastern seaboard going throughout the next 10 to 15 days or so. Here's a closer check at what we're looking at down the pipe. Futurecast does start to show drier skies, then giving way to some moisture. And this is unfortunately as we get into the second half of the weekend and into Marathon Monday. So dry conditions for now, Colton and Priscilla. We get to Sunday and Monday of next week, and it looks like we'll be tracking more showers on the way.
Priscilla and I are trying to figure out how we can take this show on the road, Tev.
Let me go walk outside really quickly, talk to the bosses, and I'll come back and report to you, let you know what they say.
Yes, let us know how that goes.
Okay, and that is a check of the weather. Very nice weather for the whole week. We're all excited for that. Thank you for that weather report. Federal judge suspends FDA approval of abortion pill, sparking legal fight. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS.
When you're injured, you want more. More service, more lawyers, more resources. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest...
But we're going to begin with this. There is a new fight over abortion access that could become the biggest battle on this issue since Roe v. Wade was overturned. Protests erupted in multiple cities after a federal judge in Texas suspended the FDA approval of a well-known, commonly used abortion pill. Now, that decision affects the entire country. Think about that for just a second. But then another federal judge, this one in Washington state, ruled that the pills cannot be restricted in more than a dozen states. So, Nancy Cordes is following all of this at the White House. Nancy, there are a lot of moving parts to this story. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Yes, these are two of the most consequential legal decisions since Roe v. Wade was struck down last year, and the legal whiplash leaves millions of women caught in the middle. This is likely to be settled right back at the Supreme Court. The president is vowing to fight the Texas ruling, and the Department of Justice is seeking a stay.
Hands off the abortion pill!
Protests broke out this weekend over the abortion pill ruling that has the potential to affect not just women in Texas, but women across the country.
This is going to create utter chaos, utter disruption of women's lives.
A conservative federal judge in Texas ruled Friday that the FDA improperly approved the abortion pill mifepristone 23 years ago, ignoring legitimate safety concerns about the drug.
The order yesterday was all about righting a wrong.
Mifepristone is one of two approved pills that are used together to carry out more than half of legal abortions in this country. The FDA insists the drug is safe and that serious complications are rare.
This ruling is an extreme abuse of power.
Some lawmakers urged the Biden administration to resist enforcing the ruling.
We know that the executive branch has an enforcement discretion, especially in light of a contradicting ruling coming out of Washington.
Shortly after the Texas ruling, a Washington state judge blocked any changes to mifepristone's availability in 17 states and the District of Columbia, as administration officials warned that the legal battle in Texas could have far-reaching implications.
When you turn upside down the entire FDA approval process, you're not talking about just mifepristone. You're talking about every kind of drug.
Cases like this one ensure that abortion will remain a top issue in next year's elections. It helped to propel liberal Judge Janet Protasewicz to an 11-point win in a high-profile state Supreme Court race in Wisconsin just last week, sparking some debate among Republicans about exactly how far to go.
We can win this issue at the ballot box if we show up with reasonable positions. If we have our head in the sand, we're going to lose.
For now, many prescribers say they're going to continue to dispense mifepristone, and patients in states where abortion is restricted can continue to order the medication from abroad. Even if the FDA is forced to withdraw approval of mifepristone, it is likely the drug would still be available for months or even years as the agency works to redo the regulations. So a very confusing situation right now, Tony.
Yeah, and the fight will continue. Nancy, thank you very much.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And let's go into your sports now. In sports, the Boston Bruins, they had a game yesterday, and the final score of the Boston Bruins game yesterday was Boston Bruins 5 and Philadelphia Flyers 3. The Boston Bruins won the game yesterday. Congratulations, Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins are now 63-12-5, and Philadelphia Flyers are 29-38-13. Excellent job last night, Boston Bruins. And the Boston Bruins, they have a game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock p.m. against the Capitals. Let's go, Boston Bruins. Hopefully they can win tomorrow night's game as well. And the Boston Red Sox, they have a game tonight at 6:40 p.m. against the Rays. Let's go, Boston Red Sox. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. The Boston Red Sox are 5-4 and Rays are 9-0. Let's go, Boston Red Sox. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. And that's it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on RK News Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great evening and good night and bye.